Hey there, folks, and welcome to another one of those interview things I like to do. And this one is special, more so than usual, not only as has our guest lent his talent to various anime, cartoons, video games, commercials, and hundreds of audiobooks over the last few decades. Get this! He's a returning guest. Yeah, someone actually agreed to speak with me not once, but twice. His standards may be questionable, but it's still a big deal. The second person I ever interviewed, it is my utmost pleasure to speak again with Ollie Wyman.
Lee, thank you so much. You are far too kind and far too denigrating of yourself. You are spectacular and one of my good friends.
uh,
So thank you so much for having me.
I mean, I said this off camera, like before we started, but the first time I interviewed you back in 2019, I was like, as soon as we stopped, I was like, I want to interview that guy again because he was so cool. Because you really opened
Oh,
me up to how, like, we should do. Like, again, you were the second person I interviewed, but that was the one that
ring
really
no
opened
bell.
my eyes in terms of just like, wow, that's how an interview can really go. If, you guys have like similar interests and you really let them just turn loose and just let them open up about stuff. But yeah, it took a long time, but I am, as I like to say, politely persistent. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm delighted to be back. Thank you so much. And your persistence is well appreciated.
I think it
Well
paid off this
appreciated.
time. So let's get on to the questions now. So, for a
Yeah.
brief rundown for those who don't know who you are or how you got your start in acting, and yeah, just let people know how you got your start in acting, how you got into voiceover and audiobooks. Like, just give me the whole story. Like, we didn't
Okay.
talk about this 6 years ago.
Here we go. Well, might be able to add some new tidbits to that
Sure, sure.
that saga. When I was 8 years old, my brother Nick Wyman,
Hmm.
much more famous and recognizable actor than I am, at least visually. You've seen him if you've watched any movies from the 80s, 90s. You've probably seen him. Bruce Willis beat him up in the end of Die Hard 3. That was a good one. But anyway, Nick was an actor, and I always admired him. I was so proud of him and so unbelievably envious of his power on the stage, his ability to captivate and perform and just really command an audience. And when I was 8 years old, I started working with a children's theater group called ABC, Acting by Children. And as it happened, the reason why my brother was dating the woman who was the choreographer at the time, uh, and fell into it and started doing that. I was with them for 5 or 6 years. Every weekend we would rehearse, and then after 5 or 6 or 8 weeks, we would put on a show, and it was great fun. There were a lot of people in that program. I think I told you about this before. David Herman from
Hmm.
Mad TV and Office Space. He was one of my friends. Um, Corey Glover, the lead singer from Living Color, if I'm remembering his name. I believe it's Corey Glover. I'm pretty sure. I may be
I'm not
too old to
familiar with
remember
that
things.
guy, but
He's Living Color is a great band. Great band. Check him out. I love him. 80s, dating myself. Blah, 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 ding, who else? Anybody else that I can think of offhand? No. Oh, duh. Bill S. Preston.
I know that guy.
You know what I'm talking about?
I at least know the
Alex
name
Winter
from
was a friend of mine. Yeah,
no
Alex Winter
kidding.
was part of the group. That's right. Alex Winter and a friend of mine named Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele, for a long time, was the voice of Peter Pan in like Disney's. He was the go-to. You want Peter Pan? He's your guy. That's what we. That's
Was
who
he
they
like
used.
was
Yeah.
he the original or no, not the original.
No, 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 no,
I
no,
was
no,
about to
no,
say
no.
no,
He's
no.
not that. He's my age,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Hold on.
another great guy. But we used to hang out when we were kids.
Hmm.
Anyway, so I did this thing, and God, where did it go from there? Not really anywhere for a while. I ended up, I was taking acting classes in my teens and in my 20s, and I started doing a show called Manifestation. No, excuse me. That was my show. I started doing a show called Sordid Lives, and there was an actress there who asked me one day, she said, I'm going to do an audition for a language program, where people do they say things like, "Excuse me, is this the soup spoon?" And other people repeat it and learn how to speak English that way.
Mm-hmm.
I went for the audition, nailed it, and that was my career for the first, gosh, really most of the 90s. I was an ESL, English as a Second Language actor, and the actor is not the right word because it's not acting.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is this the post office? That's not acting. But from that. I started doing audiobooks. The producer who hired me for that started doing short stories. I did short stories, and then I did a full-length audiobook. It was Lance Armstrong's autobiography. I won an award for that, which was amazing.
Hey.
And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm good at this. I guess I should do this. Not long after that, I was doing an ESL session with this lovely young woman who I got along with very well. We immediately got along, and she was really cool. At the end of the session, I said, "You're really good. Do you do other voiceover work?" She said, "Yeah, I work on Pokemon. I'm Ash." And I was like, it was Veronica Taylor. Yeah.
Yep.
So she said, "Yeah, I'll introduce you to everybody at 4Kids." And that was my entree into cartoons. I had done a couple of anime before. I had done Iria. That was my first Iria the Zayram. That was my first anime. But now at this point, I think I probably dozens, certainly, if not 100.
Mm-hmm.
So many in the 90s and the early aughts. And it's, for me, as you can see, I'm annoyed. So for me, this was a dream, getting to be in cartoons. I don't know if I forgot to mention when I was talking to Veronica, and I met Veronica the first time, she said, "Oh, I'm Ash in Pokemon." I was like, I pulled my Game Boy out of my back pocket. I was like, I'm playing Pokemon Yellow right now. Pikachu's following me around everywhere I go because Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
And so I was over the moon. When I finally got cast as my first Pokemon was Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon has apparently been smoking, but Zigzagoon. That was my first, and that was still one of my favorite things ever.
Oh yeah.
I need the Zigzagoon shirt. Yeah.
Zigzagoon! And what's that? A zigzagoon! A zigzagoon! Zigzagoon! Zigzagoon!
You, Zigzagoon there! Why don't you have a battle with us?
Zigzagoon!
Water gun now!
Zigzagoon!
That was like one of the first things I remember. I was like, I don't know who voiced Zigzagoon, but that was the one that always stuck out to me.
Aww.
As a
Oh, you're
child,
so
I was like,
sweet.
oh, that's such a silly sounding voice. Whoever's doing that is having the time of his life.
That's the trick. As a performer, you got to enjoy yourself. Because if you're not enjoying yourself, the audience isn't going to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, for
That's the most important thing.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But that's how it started.
Yeah, I think the first person you played on Pokemon, and this is actually kind of funny because me and my brother were rewatching like the final the Johto League at the very end of like a saga, and that was where you first made your appearance as a character called Salvador.
Ash will proceed first and then followed by Salvador.
I'm gonna start my first battle with my most trusted Pokemon. Furret, let's go! You were great, Furret. I'm proud of you. You and that Pikachu of yours, you were awesome.
You and Furret were great too.
Keep up the good work, Ash. Maybe we'll battle again someday.
Yeah, I hope so.
It was just like a background character, and I could tell immediately. I was like, that's Ollie. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's where he first started in Pokemon, because that was when season 6 started, technically. Like, even though we were at the very end of Pokemon Johto, the season order technically started before the next region. You know what I mean? Where it was like, it's a whole dorky. I mean, I'm nerdy too. Gray minds think alike and all that, so I know all this stuff. So I was like, this is season 6, even though the next region, they haven't gotten to the next region, but the next season technically has started right now. You can see that the voice director is Darren Dunstan at this point in the show, and this is when Ollie came in, and this is when these guys came into the show, and you can tell because the music is different, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was cool hearing you in that. I was like, oh man, I just hear Ollie in all these different places, and it just made me inspired, like not inspired, but it was like, I gotta keep trying and getting to talk to this guy because I have so many stories I want to tell and just relay with him.
You have such a good ear. You have such a good ear for voices, and you are so knowledgeable about this stuff. It's one of these things like, I stream and you'll show up in the stream sometimes. I'm like, who is this person? And boom, you got the name. You got the answer right away. There's no Googling that, You're like a mentat. I love that.
Like, there's just so many things. That's partially the reason why I do like the stuff that I do in terms of like making videos and stuff, because I would always be like, hey, did you know that this and this and this? And I ran out of people to just relay that information to, where it's like, yes, I've heard this. I knew this was a character in Pokemon or like Dragon Ball or blah, blah, blah. So I started making videos and sharing it with everyone. It's like, hey, did everybody else, especially since like a lot of these things that I was talking about, not a lot of people knew about. So, and people weren't talking about them. So I was like, I gotta get this stuff out there somehow, even if it's only seen by like 20 people. I gotta get my name out there and get the word out there, get the facts straight. And that is like,
well done.
yeah. But
good job, my friend.
Now let's see. The next question I got for you. So one of the other characters that you played, like one of your most prolific characters, I would say would be Morty / Manta from Shaman King. And right here, I've got the Shaman King Complete Blu-ray that they released not too long ago. Yeah, you see Morty just somewhere up here.
Wow, and that's the 4Kids?
That's the 4Kids.
Or is that the
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They released it in like 2022 or something. And yeah, it's the entire English dub.
I had no idea that they released the 4Kids dub on Blu-ray. Okay, this is a must-buy for me.
Yeah.
Because never mind how much fun I had doing that show, Sean Schemmel kills me. Kills me as Rio. Rio was what Rio is his Japanese name, but he was Rio in the 4Kids dub. And his, like, I would have to answer he's always interacting with Morty, and I would have to answer him, and they would play the line that I'm supposed to react to, and I'd just fall. I'd be like,
Full speed ahead!
Do you know where you're going?
I thought you knew. I'm just the driver. You're the navigator.
Didn't you just say we should ride right over there? You don't even know where there is.
Well, sometimes I get a little excited. It's 5:15 and I'm cruising down the road. I got the wind in my hair and the bugs in my nose. My man Mort is by my side, so I'm going slow. Oh no! It's 5:16 and I'm cruising.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Come on, Morty, you know the words. Sing along. It's the upper road, baby.
he was amazing. He is one of, and I honestly, everybody knows him as
Goku.
Help me out. Yeah, thank you. Everyone knows as Goku. I never watched the show, but everybody knows him as, with his veins popping out his head, screaming, ah!
Yeah.
Final form. Yeah, whatever. But that was such a waste of, he can scream and he can be angry and fight and stuff. He's one of the funniest people you will ever meet. Just kills me. And I miss hanging out with him. But Sean, oh my gosh. Sean is just, he's a madman. He's a madman, and he does parodies of things that are just kill. And let me just put it this way: there are outtakes out there, and someday, if they ever see the light of day, oh my gosh! You cannot imagine.
No.
So funny.
Part of me doesn't want to imagine, but hopefully they don't get into the wrong hands. But yeah, no, I've seen Sean at a few conventions, and I chatted my ear off at him about the voice actor trivia and things like that one year. And then the next year when I saw him at that same convention, before I even get up to like his little booth, he points at me and goes, I remember you. You're the weirdo.
That's Shimmy. It's been years. He moved to the left coast, as I call it. He moved to California, so I haven't seen him, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
He's doing all right from what I've seen and from what I've heard, I should say. Like, I still hear him in a bunch of stuff, and yeah.
Yo's in trouble. There's not much time.
Stay down.
I gotta hurry.
so that I can help him.
I'm sick of you. You need to get out of here!
You ignorant jerk! I don't have time for this. If I can't reason with you, then I'll just have to crush you idiots with my hammer of knowledge!
So when it comes to the Shaman King reboot, what was the whole process of that? And coming back to voice Morty slash Manta, because I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope they get Ollie to do this, and like, I hope they get as many of the original cast back as possible. Oh, so tell me the whole story about that.
That was a thrill for me. That was just, and again, I had so much fun playing Morty originally before Manta. They went back to his original name for the dub, for the Netflix dub. But I was just, more than anything, I was just really disappointed that they didn't use Sean. Because Sean played Amidamaru and Rio.
Yeah.
You.
I heard him in like he was in an early trailer for the Shaman King reboot, but I think someone said it was like creative differences. Like if you go back to like one of the first English dub trailers, you can hear Sean as Amidamaru, but I think one guy wanted to do one thing and he didn't want to do that. Just what I've heard, like creative differences.
I had no idea. And that's, I think we were working with a director that I had never worked with before, and he had his own vision for the series, for the show. The thing to me, if you look at the character of Ryu, he's got this huge pompadour, crazy huge. He's got an Elvis kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And so what Sean did, and I love this, Sean made him a sort of wacky, crazy Hispanic Elvis.
Rio's back up!
Your little sucker punch move was pretty impressive, but by no means fatal. However, I'll tell you what really gets my ghost. You spread my perfectly coiffed hair! You know how long it takes to obtain such a superbly sculpted do?
Huh? I think it's kind of cool.
Maybe where you come from it is, but...
And I loved that. That was the most amazing. It's like that to me. That's the real talent in being a voice actor in animation. And I don't mean to blow my own horn here, but it's the inspiration that you have that no one, your brain is unlike anybody else's brain. Sean Schemmel's brain is certainly unlike anybody else's brain. But when I was cast for the brief for kids dub of Pirate Show, One Piece. There you go.
There you go.
Brain no good.
One Piece, I was cast as the original Django, and I saw this character and I was like, wow, I was like, I got like Steven Tyler and Otto from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Somehow I was like, wow, so he's cool, but he's got like this voice. So I said,
All pirates beware, the Navy's here! You lowlifes!
This from an ex-pirate? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
Remember the pirate dance! Move it, groove, yeah!
And dance!
You never have enough until you grab your Navy duffel and you do the pirate shuffle, yeah!
I gave him that, okay, kids, go limp. I gave him that voice. But I thought that was perfect, and I don't know what they ended up doing with it. I was also Onion.
We're doomed! The pirates are coming! I saw it with my own eyes! A ship flying the Jolly Roger is sailing from the north! Liar! I'm not lying! Not lying? It's true! We're in big trouble! Gotta go! Time for my snack! See you later!
That's right. So sad they ended up going to. Did they ever? I'm just curious. I mean, they kept Erica, right? Like Erica started out, or did they not? I losing? I never watched it.
So that's interesting, actually. There's an interesting story because in 2007 it went over to Funimation, which is now Crunchyroll, which is based in like Dallas, Texas.
Oh, that.
Yeah, and let's see. But in more recent years, they've also been branching out and having people who aren't from like the Texas area come in and do like guest characters or like special characters for an arc. Like, let's see. I'm thinking of 4 actors right now from the 4 Kids dub that actually showed up in One Piece within the last few years. Like Mike Pollock showed up in an episode or two. Let's see. Erica Schroeder came back as a character, a recurring
Huh.
character. Lisa Ortiz showed up in a movie, and Jamie McGonigal, he
Oh
showed
my
up
gosh.
as well because he was just. I think the story was like he was just in the area, like in Funimation, and someone was like, "Hey, dude, you wanna do something real quick for us?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And
Ah,
Michelle Knotts, she's also like New York
I know
voice
Michelle.
actor as well. She was also in a
True.
One Piece movie as well. But
Oh,
yeah, I
maybe I
like.
should just
Yeah, who
maybe I
knows?
should just go wander around the Filmation studios and
Yeah,
loiter
yeah.
there.
Or just know somebody who's like, hey, I can get you in to maybe do a bit character. There's a talking dragon that walks around for like 5 minutes. Maybe you can do something like that. Because sometimes that just happens.
Who did I get? Oh gosh, I can't. I'm so bad at names. I got very friendly with, so I'd have to look this up on social media because my brain does not work. Did you see that there was I did a compilation with a friend of mine, great friend, because I can't remember his name clearly.
All right, he was the guy.
I'm so,
I forget his name, but you saw him at like a convention recently, right?
yeah. He was
Is it Mark Britton?
yeah, Mark Britton, Kid Walk. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Sorry, Mark.
Don't send this to him.
Yeah. Don't
That's
let him
great.
see this. Oh boy.
It's cool when you guys get to meet each other after like either not knowing who you were, or like we worked on this thing maybe 20 years ago, but we never saw each other face to face. So it's kind of cool that conventions open you up to that. I always like seeing that where it's like I never knew this guy who was like my best friend in this one cartoon. We never saw face to face forever, but now he's like the coolest dude ever. We get to see each other at this convention. I love those stories.
There was a lady, a lovely young woman, who had she was one of the Pikachus on the Alolan Pikachu Island.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Emily
On
Kramer,
P-
I believe.
on, there you go. Well done. See, you are the knower of everything. I am the knower of no things.
I wrote this down.
Emily was a sweetheart, and I was totally blown away because she was right next to me. Then she had pictures of that, of her as that Pikachu, and I'm like, oh, is that boss Pikachu?
Yeah,
Pikachu.
With a Pika Pika and a Pikachu! When Pika Pikas, it will be the ultimate in Pika powerful Z moves! Use Catastrophe Pika!
That was one of my proudest moments, I have to say.
Tell the story about that if there's anything deeper to that, if you want.
Oh, really? When I get booked on Pokemon or anything else, generally they don't say who you're going to be. They just say, hey, we need you for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So I walked into the studio and Lisa Ortiz was there and she's like, hey, got a surprise for you. And I was like, what? She's like, you're going to be a Pikachu today. And I was like, shut the front door. I'm going to be a Pikachu? And she's like, yeah, the Alolan Pikachu. And I was like, the boss of the Alolan Pikachus. He's like orange Pikachu. I'm like,
Yeah. Shiny.
I get to be a Pikachu. And he was tough. He was a badass Pikachu.
Pikachu! Pikachu! Hey, that's full tackle! To me! Hey, that's electro web!
That was one of my proudest moments in anime.
Yeah, and it was
That was
like
the best.
that was one of the first. Yeah, when I saw that episode dubbed, I was like, whoever's doing, because again, I'm always dorky, and historically, Pikachu didn't get a dubbed voice until like around that time in the show. But I was like, whoever's
that right?
doing that is doing really good, and I was like, oh my god, it's Ollie, it's Oliver Wyman, and
That was the best. Being an iconic character like that.
yeah, not many people can say I voiced Pikachu, a shiny Pikachu with a crazy pompadour in an official capacity, and like I could get really nerdy about like certain Pokemon, certain Pikachus who have had dubbed voices before you, and like how that came to be and things like that. If you want to hear some like cool trivia about it.
Yeah.
But
Who did it? Who else has done Pikachus?
So let's see. So So there was, of course, Rachel Lillis. She was the first English voice of Pikachu. Like whenever they couldn't keep the Japanese track, like they lost it from like the original files or something, she would come in and just play Pikachu just to fill a line here and there.
I did
And
not know that.
that was for like the first season or so. And
She never told me that.
she talked about it. Like I remember I asked her on Twitter a long time ago, and she said originally I was cast as Pikachu, and then I wasn't, and then I just came in to fill some lines that were lost in the Japanese conversion when they brought it over, and they were missing a line or two, because usually that happened when characters talked over each other and like Pikachu was talking in the background.
Yeah,
it was
you
like, we
couldn't-
lost
yeah.
that. And that happened more recently in the show with like the
Oh,
Power
really?
of Us movie where you were Zeraora, where there were some Pokemon that historically didn't have dub voices, but because they were all sent in one file, they had to get someone to be like, "Hey, you want to be this Pokemon for this movie because we
Wow.
lost the original."
Huh.
But in terms
Wow.
of other Pikachu, this one is really crazy. So there's an actress. Her name. Do you remember Casey Rogers at all? Did you?
Of course I remember Casey. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She voiced, so after the Pokemon voice switch, the big Pokemon voice switch, she was one of the people who stayed on board with the show. And in 2006, there was an online educational series called the Pokemon Learning League. And
Really?
yeah, it didn't use any Japanese voices at all. It was just like the current cast, and she was Pikachu in that, in
Wow.
those things.
Okay.
Pikachu! Pikachu! Pikachu!
And she also voiced Ash before Sarah Nattichenny came in.
Really?
There was like there was a 1 hour special that was like a testing ground for the new actors, and when it aired on like the WB in 2006, which I saw, I was lucky enough to be at someone's house who had the WB in their cable package.
Dear Ash Ketchum, because of your amazing Pokemon battle skills, I'd like to introduce and challenge you to my brand new battle system. Please come to my lab at your earliest convenience. Signed, Dr. Young. I've got amazing Pokemon training skills.
It was Casey Rogers as Ash, but when they redubbed it, the one you see on like DVD and streaming, that is Sarah Nattichenny. And
Okay.
in the Pokemon Learning League, there is it's a mishmash of Casey Rogers and Sarah Nattichenny, but
Oh, really?
yeah, some lines are Casey and some are Sarah. But even before all that, there is a Burger King commercial for the second Pokemon movie in 2000 where Casey voiced Ash for like one line.
No way.
Ash only says
Really?
one line, and it's like, that's not Veronica. Oh, that's Casey Rogers.
Maybe we should have used the door.
Cool toy.
And she's also voiced Pichu in a couple of things, like some video games and some movie shorts and a movie. But yeah, that was when you rejoined the show and they had all those Pikachu. That was like the first notable time where like Pikachu itself got like English voice actors. And I looked at like the cast list of from that episode, and there's like Emily Kramer, Susie Myers, Jake Pake, Lori Phillips, Tyler Bunch, Billy Bob Thompson, and you. So all those guys were playing Pikachu, but you got to be the big
right,
boss.
isn't it? Tyler did it.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's amazing.
He's so
Tyler's
cool.
great.
I interviewed
Oh,
him
and he's a
couple years
puppeteer.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was so cool to speak to.
Great guy, sweetheart of a guy, and just so talented. I did see Avenue Q. Is that what it was? Avenue Q. I saw it. I don't know if he was in it at the time.
He was not in Avenue Q, but there was a.
Oh, am I wrong?
There's an actor named Mike Lischio Jr. who.
Oh, really?
He was in Avenue Q before he got like a main role in Pokemon around like 2013, and he's still on the show today. Like he still shows up.
Maybe I'm just because Tyler. He is a puppeteer. He worked with Jim Henson, right?
Oh yeah, he still does.
Am I
for,
wrong?
Like the last 30 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what That's okay. I was I got the Avenue Q and yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Avenue Q is not the same as Sesame Street. They're very different.
There are some alumni. There are some dudes who have worked on like Henson projects on Avenue Q, but
Sure.
Yeah,
Have
but
you ever seen Avenue Q, Malik?
I have listened to I listened to a few of the
Dude.
songs in like grade school back in 2006.
Yeah.
And
It's
everyone was singing all those songs back in the day where it's like, I don't know where this is from, but this is a hilarious song, you know? Like I can't even name like two of them. But you know the ones like The
I
Internet
know.
or Everyone's a Little. Yeah, yeah. I know
I
those
love
ones
that stuff.
word for word, and I didn't
That's
even know
great.
what
That's
they were attached
hysterical.
to back in the day. And I was like, oh wow,
That's all
wow,
right.
wow. But no, yeah, Tyler Bunch was a cool dude, and we talked about it was like it was another. It's sort of like it's not like a voice actor thing where like you voice this character and this character. It's a whole different thing where it's like I have like a Muppet thing in the back of my head where it's like that's where all the Muppet
Yeah.
information goes in this part of my brain, and the anime stuff and the Western stuff goes in this part of the brain. Those two aren't supposed to connect. So when I see someone
Yeah.
that's like, I was on Bear in the Big Blue House, and I also double as this really cool Pokemon that just came out. It's like, that doesn't make sense to me. He's like the only
Do you
guy.
know? Do you know who Fred Berman is by any chance?
Fred Berman. No, that name doesn't ring a bell to me.
Fred is an old friend who's been on Broadway. I think he just celebrated 20 years, if I'm not mistaken, as Timon.
On like
That's
the
what do you call it? Meerkat.
Yeah, the
Hakuna
Meerkat.
Matata, right? Yeah.
I talked about it before too on like your streams, but I auditioned for Timon for the Toronto
Oh,
production of
yeah!
The Lion King.
You told
like,
me about
last
that.
year. And
Dude,
yeah,
well done.
like I might as well tell
Just
you
to get
like
up
the
there.
whole story here. And this, like I said, to the people listening, like if you want to hear questions, I'm gonna put timestamps. So if you don't want to hear us ramble on about stuff, but this is fun stuff. I just like talking about this stuff. But it was just like a cool little audition. I was like, you know what? I haven't thought about the Lion King production in a long time. Then I saw auditions were coming up, and they were like, you know, you just got to sing a song and show how tall you are. And I was like, I was the perfect height for Timon, and I sang like Jim Croce's "You Don't Mess Around with Jim," which I had just heard for the first time ever, like maybe a month or two before doing the audition, and that was stuck in my head for like the entire holiday season. And I was like, this is just Big Bad Leroy Brown, just in a different context or something.
Exactly.
But I did that song, and I went through the whole process. But I'm so glad I did not get the audition because you know doing like 2 shows a day for 10 months, that would have been murder on me, and I wouldn't have gotten anything done. And Eugene Levy was at the opening show, and I would have been terrified if I had to perform in front of Eugene Levy.
Oh, I get that. Oh my gosh.
The guy who did it, he was fantastic, because I was like, you know
yeah?
what? I'll just watch the dude do it and be like, oh, thank God I didn't have to do this, and paint my face green and have the meerkat puppet. And yeah,
You
me
went
and my
out for
friend
it.
saw it, and it was a blast. Like we saw it like one of the last shows of its run at like the end of August, and it was so worth it because I hadn't seen it in like 20 something years. And that was my
really?
first introduction to the Lion King, the stage play before.
Oh, no
I even-
kidding.
Well, no, I saw the Timon and Pumbaa cartoon, but like the actual story of the Lion
The show,
King.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That was how I first saw it. And then I saw the movie maybe a year later, and I was like reciting stuff from the Broadway play.
From the play, yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, there's a song called The Morning Report, which was in the Broadway show. They made it for the Broadway show, and
But it's not in the film.
it was in the film in the special edition, which came out in like the mid 2000s, which is when I first saw it. So I was like, hey, they even got the Morning Report song in here. But when I saw it again, they got rid of the Morning Report song in the one I saw. But it was still a great time. Great time.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
I
just
love
great
that.
production all around. It was just like, oh wow, just seeing when they're singing at the very beginning, the Circle of Life. It was like, oh, just seeing the puppeteers come up with like their elephants and like the birds flying through the air. I was like, oh my goodness, and the people like.
I'm
singing in the
sorry to
balcony.
say, I've never seen it.
You gotta
I've never
see
seen it. I would love to see. I'm very curious to see like who they get to do the bird. Right, that was the
it's a guy in like
the
with.
parrot was the Godfrey Gilbert Gottfried, wasn't it?
Oh wait, no, that's Aladdin.
Who am I
You're
thinking
thinking Aladdin.
No, okay. See, now they all blend together. Who was the bird in
the
oh, no,
animated version?
Who was the comic relief in
in the Lion King.
forgive me.
That was
Yeah.
it was the bird Zazu, and in the
And that was Mr. Bean.
yeah, Rowan Atkinson.
There
That was
you
him.
go.
That
Okay.
was him. But they
And
get
there was a bird and a crazy guy.
yeah, but they get like a cool. They get like it's like a cool puppet thing where it's like he's got a handler in the stage play, and there were times where he was like during the stampede scene, he was like up in the balcony where like some kids were sitting, and the kids were like enamored. Where it's like Mufasa, I'm gonna go get help, and it's like yeah, he was on the balcony, and during like one of the songs. The handler loses his bird during like the "Can't Wait to Be King" song in the whole ruckus of the song, and at the end of the song he like flies out into the stage and he's like, where's my bird, Zazu, I'm coming.
That's hysterical.
That blew me away when I saw it as a kid, and I was like, oh, they still do that. That's so great.
I gotta see that. My kids have seen it. Fred was good enough to get tickets for my wife and the kids. I wasn't able to go, but someday.
You gotta hit him up
What
again
a gig,
and say,
though.
dude, I
do.
haven't seen it.
20 years.
Can you help a brother out?
20 years. What a gig. What a gig. I am jealous.
I'd like to see
Sounds
him
like
if
a lot of
I'm
fun.
ever in the area. Like, I mean, I don't go, gallivanting anywhere really, but if I'm ever out there and he's still doing it, I'd like to see him too. I always like seeing how everybody does, and depending on where you watch it, there's like local references to like, we got like Canadian references in our Lion King production where it's like the hyenas are like, oh, this kid is gonna taste better than the poutine we had yesterday.
Fred does stuff like that. Fred improvs all the time. I can't remember what it was. There was some event. I think it was the Oscars or something. And Angelina Jolie came out with this. She had a long dress with a big slit up the skirt part. And she did this weird thing where she stuck her leg out at an angle, sort of bent her knee and stuck her leg out so people could see the inside of her thigh.
Yeah.
And everyone was just kind of like, what the hell's that all about? So the next night on stage, during when Timon first comes out, he did the leg, and people lost it. People were like, that's hysterical. Fred's great. But he's done a fair amount of audiobooks. And I'm sure he's done animation, although I can't think of anything offhand. He's a sweetheart of a guy. Great drummer too.
Oh wow, he's
Kick-ass
just a complete package. I'm gonna look
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy up now.
he's-
Fred Berman.
Oh,
Maybe-
Fred Berman.
He's been in a couple of video games, Max Payne, Alan Wake, but yeah, Timon. That's definitely.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Max Payne and Alan Wake. Damn.
Yeah, from
Those
what I
some
can see.
high-profile video games.
Yeah, not too bad.
Huh. Yeah, Fred's a good guy.
Yeah.
Fred's a good guy.
Let's see. Back to the questions. I completely forgot.
Oh, yeah.
When I was watching the original Shaman King, I also took note of, this was back in like 2021, 2022. I took note of a bunch of characters that I could find that you did in preparation for the eventual interview that we would do. So some of the characters that you voiced, if I can just list them off here, it was, of course, there was Morty and Ball Boy. Let's see. Episode 1, you were the Torture Twins. In episode 22, you were a Johto Shaolin. And in episode 28, you were Afro Dude / Nessie. You were Boris Tepesh Dracula III. Episode 59, you were Zon Ching and Mohammed Tabarsi. You were in episode 10, a Kermit / Marvin the Martian sounding Dead Ender. And in episode 7, you were a thug leader who was named CW, who had a Christopher Walken accent.
No way!
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing. I forgot about that. Tony let me do that. That's great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Tony Salerno directed that.
Show him the catapult move, CW.
All right, I'm giving you one last chance before I send you airborne.
Must have the sword.
You asked for it!
See you later, shorty.
It was hilarious because it's like he was just like, you were talking back to back. He was like fighting with Morty, and he's like, you stepped on my turf. It's like, I'm going to give you one last chance to apologize before I send you airborne.
Wow! Dude! Malik! You're taking my job. Holy crap.
I've had,
Well done, man.
I've had a bit of practice. I mean, I learned from the best, and
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Kudos to you, my friend. That is how, and that's honestly, that's how I learned to do it. I was watching Jay Marr, who used to be on Saturday Night Live, and he came out and did it. Christopher Walken. I was like, oh, that's how you do it. You watch somebody else, and that's how you learn. You learn the little things. It was like the guy who does Trump. Nobody did Trump before until the guy on Saturday Night Live, who does the best Trump. And now I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I get, I'm learning.
Oh, for sure. And it's like, even before I knew who that voice belonged to, like for Christopher Walken, that's just a thing you hear in the cartoons and things like that. Like Digimon back in the day had a Digimon villain who he just talked like this. It's like, oh, I can't wait because this is going to be so much fun when I take you kids to school. Oh, delicious.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. And here I thought Don Zalug was the only and the guy in Shaman King, apparently. That's a riot.
First, I play Pot of Greed. It lets me draw 2 more cards from my deck. Just what I wanted. The one and only Don Zalug. And when I say one and only, I really mean it. Because, my children, I am him.
Yeah, of course, like you've, let's see, because you have some Christopher Walken stories, like actually dubbing for Christopher Walken, if you want to tell that.
That is another one of my proudest moments in voiceovering. Let's see, 13 years ago, I had just moved out of the city not too long ago, and I got a call from Mason Pettit, who's a big voiceover guy. He was such a big deal. He had his own assistant. I would like to be that much of a big deal, but no, he was the guy on HBO. He was the announcer on HBO who would say, "Coming up next on HBO," and I'm like, I could do that. And he, guy made,
way too much money.
More than 6, yeah, 7 figures. Yeah, he made a lot of money. And he called me up one day, and I have a reputation as being the Walken, the guy who does the best Walken impersonation in New York. And he called me up and he said, "Listen, I'm working on a movie, and the Walken's in the movie, but they need somebody to dub some of his lines for the dailies, because I guess, I don't know, they didn't have, they would rewrite the script or something. It was all mostly off-camera voiceover. And they would rewrite lines in the script, and they couldn't afford to get him to come back into the studio every day, I guess. So they got me to come in and redo the lines. And I was like, okay, sure, give him my number by all means. And I get a call from these guys, and I could tell I was on speakerphone. They go, "All right, let's hear it." And I go, this watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanoi. Hey, no. And then, so I don't want to go any further into that because it's hardly offensive, but they were like, before I could get any further, they were like, "Can you be at Magno at 10 a.m.? And I was like, Magno is the big, like when they dub movies, that's where they go. Magno is the place. And I know one of the chief engineers at Magno, sweetheart of a guy. And I was like, oh, please tell me I'm going to work with my pal. And sure enough, so yeah, it was a good time. And we were doing, here's the thing, the movie was never released.
Yeah.
It was shown once in Italy, and it was so bad, apparently. They're like, never again. And everybody's in this movie. Christopher Walken, John Turturro, Oliver Platt, Edie Falco. The list goes on. Alicia Silverstone, I want to say. So many people in this movie. And I think, first of all, since this film was made, we have not seen a film with Christopher Walken in it.
Kidding.
It could be that he has lost the plot, and they're like, yeah, no, don't. And I think that might have. I saw a couple of the shots that he was in that he wasn't off camera for, and it was like, wow, I don't know how to act anymore because everything's crazy. What am I doing? it was bad. It was like, what's something, I think he lost the plot.
He was in the Jungle Book reboot from like 2016, which I guess came later. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
He
good
was
point.
like-
So who'd he play in that?
He was King Louis, except he wasn't an orangutan.
The
He was-
orangutan?
Yeah, he was a giant prehistoric primate called a Gigantopithecus, and he gets to sing "I Want to Be Like You" in the credits, and it's hilarious sounding. Like there's one verse where he goes like, this was a new verse written by one of the Sherman brothers who was still around at the time from the original Jungle Book, and he goes like, "Now you might think it's ridiculous that me, a Gigantopithecus, would ever dream I'd like to team with the likes of you, man cub, but together we have powers, all the jungle's treasures ours. I've got desire, you've got the fire, but the dream I dream takes two," and he just goes, "Ooby-doo," and all that stuff. It's everything you would want to hear out of a Christopher Walken, "I Want to Be Like You."
You're amazing. I am astounded. I am astonished. That is awesome. And I cannot believe, I think the thing is, they'll do off camera, but not so much on camera with him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know, but you can, I do have proof. It is on my IMDb page. You can go there and it says that I actually did ADR for Christopher Walken in that movie. And that alone is like, okay.
What was
That's
the name
an
of that
achievement.
movie again, just for people who don't know?
Oh, God's Behaving Badly.
God's Behaving
It was a very,
Badly.
very popular book, and he played Zeus. Oliver Platt was Apollo, oddly. John Turturro was Hades. Edie Falco was Athena, I think. Yeah, it was weird. But check out it. I mean, it's not available anywhere, which is so. I'm like, I want to see if I ended up in it.
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure
I
they
bet
used
you. I
some
bet
of
you
me.
did. Because I'd like. It's always interesting when I hear like things like when I hear someone was like, "Oh, this character was played primarily by this person, but all the grunts and the yells were done by this voice actor that you've heard and everything else." And sometimes I'm more like, I kind of appreciate what the actor did more than what the main dude did.
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that happens
That is very
a
interesting.
lot. Like there's like a
Huh.
there's a Mortal Kombat game recently where like they got, I don't know, I think it was Megan Fox or something like that for like one of the characters for her dialogue, but all her grunts, screams, and yells were done by like a run-of-the-mill voice actor that you hear in everything. And I'm like, I think I respect her more in terms of getting the hard stuff done,
Yeah. Feeling the emotion and the feeling.
Yeah, everything that you hear that isn't just talking in a cutscene or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? If I had to say who the real voice actor is, I'm thinking it's the other person, It's not the celebrity in terms. And, there's great celebrities who do voiceover. Of course, we've heard, like Robin Williams or Mark Hamill, of course. Like,
Yeah.
when I hear him in like, I'll watch an episode of like Johnny Bravo or something, and it's like Mark Hamill. It's like, Mark Hamill, who is he? He was Thug number 3. That was it. They didn't get him like
No
special
way.
guest appearance
Really?
by Mark Hamill. No, he was just like a talking lobster who showed up for like 5 seconds.
Well, like George Clooney played the dog in South Park, right?
Oh, what?
Did you know that? Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. There's an early episode of South Park, and there's a dog played by George Clooney.
Did they make a big
I
deal
kid
out
you
of
not.
it, or was it just like?
Oh, they were like, and special guest George Clooney as
pretty
the dog.
cool. But they
Oh,
never
yeah,
do
yeah, no,
that.
that's a
Like,
thing.
yeah, when
I
Mark
can't believe you don't know that. This was before your time. You were just a pup when that came out.
Oh, I mean, I saw
Gosh.
some South Park when I shouldn't have it, the ripe age of 10. I saw the movie when it aired on TV at like 10 years old, but I was a responsible child, and I was like, I can't repeat anything I hear on this show. I was I was a good kid where it's like, I can't let my mom know that I'm watching this. If she comes down the stairs, I'm just gonna tune into like one of the kids' channels or the weather, and I'm just watching, or I'll leave a video game on and I'll change it to like channel 3 or the video input.
That's a riot. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that movie. They're great.
Fantastic stuff, yeah. Now let's see. Another question I got for you. So I was probably the only person who thought this, but when Pokemon Paldean Winds came out, which was like the YouTube stuff in 2022, I saw that you voiced Director Clavel, and when I saw him in the games, like not too long before the online shorts came out, I was the guy who was like, you know what? This seems like a character Ollie would play if he ever got the chance.
Ah.
So when I saw that you actually voiced him, I kind of fist pumped a bit too hard. I was like, yes, yes. It's sort of like when you say, like, when you read the Joker books, when you read like the Batman comic books, excuse me, and when you said, I imagine, it's like Mark Hamill's voice is what you would imagine coming out of the Joker. So that was sort of like what happened with me when I saw the Director Clavel, and I was like, yes, I was right. That's so cool.
All the way to Glossiado Mountain for your treasure hunt? That's quite a ways away.
Director, I'm sorry for leaving the video project. It's just, I'm not exactly sure I'm the right person to do it.
I disagree, O'Hara. I thought you were the perfect candidate for the task. But it can't be helped. But about leaving your band club duties for all of this, have you discussed it with your father yet?
Well,
My apologies, O'Hara. Perhaps I've overstepped. But please know that my door is always open if you ever want to talk about things.
Thank you.
And best of luck finding your treasure.
That was just for YouTube, is that right?
It was an online series, yeah, just for YouTube. Yeah, it never showed up on TV, but
I had no
millions
idea.
of hits on there. Yeah, millions of people have watched him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm astonished. I can't believe. I mean, it's Pokemon. How could they not get it on TV? I guess YouTube is probably reaches more people.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you look at the views on YouTube, they got like lots and lots of views, and there's a lot of, I want to say, casual fans who think it's better than what the show's doing. But as someone who has watched the show forever, I'm like, no, the show is. I mean, these are good, these are great, but the show is also really good. It only gets better. Like the most recent series even is like, I think it might be the best Pokemon has ever been. And again, I've been watching since day one.
No, the most recent series has a new protagonist, isn't that right?
Yeah, it has an all new protagonist, new characters and everything like that. And I was scared to death going into it, but I was like, wow, it's still good. It's still good.
But who's the new Gotta Catch 'Em All person?
There's dual protagonists where it's like a girl named Liko and a boy named Roy, and they're out finding like this shiny Rayquaza, which is like the legendary dragon Pokemon from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. And it's like this really intricate story that Pokemon had great storytelling back in the day, but they are doing stuff with the story that I had never seen in Pokemon before, where it's like, I understand why they changed the protagonists and all that. And I was like, wow, it's still surprising me in ways that I have never seen before.
So who's their signature Pokemon? Like Ash and
see.
Pikachu.
Let's see. So for Liko, she's got like the new starter for like Scarlet and Violet, like the grass starter.
Okay.
And Roy, he's got like the fire starter, and then there's like a bunch of different people on the show who have
the poor water starters left all.
Oh no, someone else. Yeah, there's a third protagonist. She has like.
Oh, there is a.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's sort of becoming more of a main character as the show goes on, but she's got the water starter as well, and yeah, everybody has like their own signature Pokemon, and they all get development somehow. And in terms of like, yeah, the voice cast is really good too. Like one of the characters, I don't know if did you ever watch Thundercats back in the day?
I mean, not religiously, but yeah, I've seen plenty of Thundercats.
Yeah,
Thundercats outtakes are some of the best.
Yeah,
You've heard those, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I haven't seen Thundercats, but I've seen those outtakes. And one of the main characters, he's like an elderly character who sometimes turns into like, he has an alter ego where he goes into a super buff superhero, but only for like 3 minutes. But he's voiced by the guy who played Lion-O in the original Thundercats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical. That's a riot.
So you get some really interesting stuff. And yeah, it's been very interesting to watch the dub and see, because again, they use like LA and New York voice actors. And what was it? There's a Pokemon called Entei in like that. Yeah, he showed up in the third movie.
Lion.
Yeah. He was voiced by Dan Green in the third movie in 2001.
Yeah.
And it's got like this cool dragon equivalent called Gouging Fire. It just looks like Entei with like sort of like a hot plate on his head, but he's more draconic in nature. And I was like, who are they gonna who are they going to get to voice him? It's Dan Green. He got to play Gouging
course.
Fire and an Entei that showed up. So it's like, that's cool that they could have gotten anybody, but they got Dan Green to come back.
Dan Green and Mark Thompson played most of the legends, as far as I know. I think most of the legendaries, because they can both get they have those huge, they both have like necks like this. So they have this, they can get this unbelievably deep sound, and I can't even get close to that.
And Mark Thompson is
squeaky guy.
everywhere. Mark Thompson is everywhere in that new series too. He's like,
is that right?
Yeah, he's everywhere. So it's always good to hear like those voices in the show. And
Unbelievably talented. The guy can do every voice in Star Wars. He does all the Star Wars audiobooks.
Yeah.
And he does every voice.
Guy's crazy.
He's awesome.
So yeah, that Pokemon Paldean Wins thing was done by 3Beep, the studio, and I also noticed that they were doing Winx Club again. And can you talk about Winx Club at all right now?
I didn't know that was Winx Club was coming back. I was Kiko and WizKids in the 4Kids dub years ago. But other than that, I don't know nothing about a reboot or nothing.
Okay.
Is this a reboot of Winx Club?
Yeah, it's another reboot being done by 3Beep, and apparently, so if you don't know anything about it, because people are saying that you came back as WizKids, but I don't know. Maybe?
This is news to me.
Okay. Maybe it's wrong.
I do a lot of work with 3Beeps, and I haven't heard about this, but
okay.
Fingers crossed this is a thing. That would be nice.
Okay, so maybe maybe IMDb is wrong then. So I'll keep my eye on that, and if anything happens, I'll
IMDb.
let you know.
Wow.
Yeah, IMDb can be like edited by anybody, and they put you on there.
Oh yeah, I know. There's a young guy, 20 maybe something actor, in LA, and his name is Oliver Hibbs Wyman. Oliver H. Wyman. Sorry, I'm Oliver A. Wyman. I was there first. And somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody replaced my bio with his bio on IMDb. And I pay some stupid amount of money, like $100 a year, to have an IMDb Pro account, so I can, manage these things and, keep track of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wrote to them 3 times. I had to say, I'm pretty sure that if this is my account, I am the only person who should be allowed to edit it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that should be a policy, maybe. So yeah, the IMDb people.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that and see when it comes out, like, officially and all that. So yeah, I'll keep you informed, and maybe you forgot, maybe it's bunk. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. It is entirely possible that I forgot.
I also wanted to ask, list me some of your favorite Pokemon, whether you voiced them or not, because you've talked about Pokemon and how much you played it back in the day and things like that. But what has grabbed your attention? Was like, that's a cool monster.
Gyarados, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
Gyarados.
Gyarados.
That's like, that was the cool. Not only you have to put the Magikarp over and over again. Oh, switch out to fight the faggot Magikarp. Stupid man. Then finally you get, and I'm sorry, it was a dragon water?
No, it's water flying, but everyone
flying.
It is very draconic, learns dragon moves. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you don't want to go up against electricity, clearly, but I think it's almost like it's doubly
they had to do something to balance it out.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's such a great Pokemon. Besides that, I would have a Dragonite. I'd usually have a Dragonite. This is OG.
It's okay. Dragonite's good.
You see. I'm Gengar. I'm the popular ones. Who doesn't love a Gengar?
They're still good though.
I'm trying to. There was one type though that I felt had greater advantage than any other.
Back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean in the first generation, the psychic type was like
psychic.
broken.
That's it. Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
broken.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That was it.
Yeah, it was just so yeah, anything from the psychic type, I guess.
Yeah. But I'm so sorry. I never, I never got into it with the Switch games. Like I have Sword and Shield, right? Those are the first Switch games.
Those were the first Switch games, yeah.
Those are the first Pokemon games I never finished. Makes me sad.
Maybe you'll get to it later. That's okay. I know a lot of people who play a game and they're like, I wasn't really feeling it this time, but then maybe like the next generation or something, or they go back to it years later and it's like, okay, I'm in a better headspace now. I can, get through it. So no pressure.
All right.
Yeah.
But someday I have to finish Ocarina of Time.
I've never beaten Ocarina of Time either, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Zelda is like one of my gaps in video games. Like I played Wind Waker, but I really liked Wind Waker. But Ocarina of Time was like one of those things where I always heard people talk about, oh, you got to play Ocarina of Time, man. It's so good. It's so good. So I bought it on like my birthday back in like 2012 for the 3DS or something. And I maybe got to the second dungeon and I just never picked it up after that. But, I still respect the heck out of it. I love the music and maybe one day I'll go back to it because, again, I did like Wind Waker. So there's something there.
I started it on the 64 years and years ago, and I think I got to the Water Temple, and I was like, I got no time for this. And then years later, I was like, oh, it came out for 3DS. I'll get it for 3DS. Same thing. Got to the Water Temple. I was just like, I'm going to kill myself. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, when it comes to other characters that you voiced, I've also noticed that you are typecast as a lot of felines, like Big the Cat, Zeraora, Alolan Meowth, Galactic Railroad, you were Zanelli, which was a cat, and
wow.
Yeah, I've just noticed that.
Campanella kept quiet just so Giovanni wouldn't look stupid in front of the class.
Well, wow, that's amazing. I completely forgot. Galactic Railroad was pre 4Kids.
Yeah.
That was one of the shows I did before 4Kids, before I met Veronica.
She was actually in that one, I believe.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Not surprised.
So tell me, where are you boys headed off to?
To the end of the universe.
I see. Wonderful.
And where is it that you're headed to, sir?
I'm a bird catcher, so I get off next.
What do you do with them after you catch them?
You eat them. Why, haven't you eaten a bird before?
Not surprised. Yeah, at that point, there were only, a dozen of us, if that, doing it. Wow, that's so funny. So the cat thing, for years, I love cats. I've got 3 cats.
Of course, yeah. I've seen them on stream.
That's right. But I've always, when I guess I had this habit of when I would mess up in a recording, I'd be reading a line, and if I messed up, I go, I would make cat noises. And one of the engineers told me one day, he said, I've got like 3 gigs of you meowing. He's like, I cut out everything. I took every time you meowed. Maybe 3 gigs is an exaggeration, but he had a lot of meows. And so it just I became known as the cat guy. I do when there's a recording and they need a cat or a dog, they get me to,
That's so good. That's so good.
Just years of messing around. I went to a boarding school in Vermont in the middle of nowhere, and I had so much time to just goof off and perfect my Popeye impression and, do all that stuff. That was Popeye was to me, he was the most amazing character because he had so much, he was so dynamic, and he would say things under his breath. He'd say things like, I'd make a monkey out of it, but nature beat me to it. And I just, that blew my mind. I love that. Max Fleischer cartoons.
Yeah. Oh, especially the black and white ones when they're all just talking.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite ones. Definitely.
Those are the best. Yeah.
But that's great. Yeah. What was it? because I loved your Alolan Meowth as well, because when he was playing off against like Cantonian Meowth, he had so much sass and just an air of just like meow meow meow. That's so good. Like, you know, like how uppity people be like, they're like meow. I kind of got that
was
feeling.
The direction that Lisa gave me. She was like, do it again, but make it more snooty.
Meow, 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 meow. I'm the biggest helpful pain in the neck of all time. You said it.
Say, maybe it would like to be part of our merry band.
Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. I was fortunate enough to be living off the kindness of a certain group of residents at a certain location, but I wanted to find even more kindness. Meow, 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 meow. At which point I came across you, the most wonderful trainers I've ever seen. That's the ticket of all the nerve.
And you know, she's absolutely right. She is absolutely. That was exactly the choice. So that's Lisa. That's Lisa right there. You know, I did the voice, but she was the one who made that choice. She was really
good choice.
She's a great director. Yeah, she really is.
Yeah, she actually what was it? The last season of Pokemon that just aired, she stepped down as voice director. So
I didn't know that.
After like a decade of doing Pokemon, I think she's still going to be on the show as just like voices and things like that. But it's going to be someone else as a voice director now.
She's one of the queens of anime.
Absolutely.
Right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And another nerdy fact, I also, what was it? Morty in Shaman King, his Japanese voice actor, Inuko Inuyama, is actually the same person who voices Team Rocket's Meowth. And there was always a part of me that I felt like you nailed like Inuko Inuyama, when she voices Meowth, she has a cadence to her where she's like, when she, sort of like a Marge Simpson almost, but
oh really?
I felt you could have been like Team Rocket's Meowth. You could also make a good Team Rocket's Meowth. That's just between you and me. I always thought, you could do that.
That's
too.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Maddie and I have had similar vocal range, I think.
I think so too.
Although Maddie could do some stuff that I could not do, but I you know, Maddie, I think there was one role that I took over for Maddie. I can't remember.
Yeah, there
like
was
a small role in Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I can't recall.
I think.
Yeah. But it was such a shame. And but yeah, Maddie's Meowth voice, and that's, again, we were the higher ranged. You know,
yeah, she was
we
fantastic.
were two of the higher ranged actors.
Yeah,
she
one
really
of the big inspirations for me, just to like, I love doing when I think of Meowth, I always think of her voice first, even though she wasn't the first person to do it. But
the accent, the Brooklyn accent, that was the best.
Yeah,
that was the best.
Yeah.
It really was.
And also,
that totally made the character.
Yeah, the great Carter Cathcart as well. I felt you guys also had a similar range as well. Like when I first heard Boss Pikachu, I thought, is that Carter Cathcart doing like his Meowth, sort of with like Pikachu? But no, it was
Carter's
you.
also.
Like, yeah,
he was one of the higher ones too. And now Billy Bob came in. It was like, okay, now I'm not the only squeaky guy anymore. There was another guy. I can't remember what his name was. He played one of the bigger characters in Viva Pinata. He wasn't around for a while. I only remember him being there for Viva Pinata, and again, me being like, "Who is this squeaky guy?"
Was it
taking
David
my
Wills?
squeaky parts? Oh, that might be it. Yeah, look at you.
He's a good friend of mine, actually.
Is that right?
We talked in like 2021.
Wait, glasses, red hair?
Maybe red hair. Maybe. He was one of the main characters, and Fergie Fudgehog was the character he played, and he kind of talked like this, and he had like a very Jerry Lewis kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was very neurotic and scared.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no.
Yeah,
David
that was
Wills,
him.
He's a good friend. We bonded over Spider-Man and Popeye.
Oh, no kidding. Is that right? Hey, what's not those are the best.
I mean, if there's anything you can bond over, that's great. But
okay, here's something for you. You probably heard this. I've talked about this on the stream. One of the things that I think that really kind of primed me, really inspired me as a young boy to get into voice acting was a Spider-Man record called Spiderman a rock comic. I think it was his origin, and it was the story of him and Doctor Strange fighting the Kingpin. And the Spider-Man was played by a young Rene Auberjonois.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was awesome. And I'll never forget, like he did a great voice for Spider-Man. And I'll never forget the end of the story. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are fighting Kingpin, which is like killing cockroaches with a shotgun. What the hell is that all about? Really? You need Doctor Strange to take the Kingpin? Please.
Yeah,
Daredevil or Spider-Man alone could easily handle Kingpin, but sure, let's throw in Doctor Strange, I guess.
Overkill.
So they're having trouble. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are having trouble fighting the Kingpin. I don't know who wrote this, but finally Doctor Strange is like, all right, this is too much. I have to do this. And he banishes him to limbo. He basically sends Dr. Who am I talking about? He sends the Kingpin to hell.
Yeah.
And the agonizing, horrified scream that the Kingpin emits as he's being teleported or summoned or portaled to hell.
Yeah.
After that scream, there's a long pause and you hear Spider-Man go, oh my God. Oh no, I'm sorry. Not oh my God. They wouldn't do that. No. Not oh my God. He goes, that was horrible. And he's genuinely freaked out. He's absolutely you can hear the fear and disgust and like newfound fear of Doctor Strange in his voice. And it's great. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. And to this day, I'm like, Doctor Strange is badass, man. Do not mess with Doctor Strange.
Lord of the depths, grant this request. This man who has sinned, make him your guest.
Poor the Kingpin is erupted in flame. That laugh, the stench of brimstone. The Kingpin is being drawn down. It's horrible. I can't watch. I must do something. Even the Kingpin.
Spider-Man, do not interfere.
That was horrible.
Stephen Strange, holy cow. That guy's harsh.
Strange does not describe this man properly enough. We need a better descriptor.
But so good. And if you ever get it's on YouTube actually.
Yeah,
it's on YouTube.
I'm gonna look it up and
you can check it out.
I'll probably put it in the interview as I'll just splice it in. Why not?
Yeah.
Everyone needs to hear this.
Especially.
Yeah.
That was horrible. Oh. I'll have to go back and listen to that again.
Oh, heck yeah. Speaking of superheroes, I'd also like to talk about that Superman audiobook that you did very recently. And I mean, I haven't listened to it, but just hearing that you were in it, Mark Thompson was in it, that was awesome to hear and just see. And I'm still getting my feet wet into the Superman world, but I've seen a few episodes of the animated series. I have read this amazing Supergirl book called Woman of Tomorrow. Have you heard of this?
No. Who wrote it? Tom King?
Tom King. Can you see that?
Yeah. Wow, I don't know about this. I'm really out of the loop when it comes to comics. So this is good stuff, huh?
It's good stuff. My friend gave it to me for Christmas because he knows he's trying to get me into Superman a bit more, and I've liked what I've seen so far. Like, I've seen Legion of Superheroes, Superman animated series. This book is getting turned into a movie by James Gunn next year.
That's the book he's basing that on?
That's the book he's basing it on.
Is Lobo in the book?
I believe Lobo is in the book.
Because I heard that, my understanding is that this movie is going to be a space adventure. And I very much like space adventures, especially with Kryptonians in them.
Yeah, and Crypto's in it.
Dude, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
I don't recall.
So pumped. All right, I'm gonna buy this tonight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy this tonight
you gotta read it. If anyone's gonna this.
Someone said, and I don't know how much. I don't really see how much he took from that, but apparently James Gunn based a lot of the film on Superman. What is the audiobook? It's not Man of Tomorrow. What is it?
The one that you were in?
Yeah.
Let me see. All-Star Superman?
All-Star Superman. So he apparently based a lot of the movie on that, but I don't see it. There's, Luther's in it. Other than that, really doesn't have a lot to do with, the story of All-Star Superman is, it's pretty intense. It starts out, oh my gosh, oh man. And Grant Morrison is one of my, there are, in my opinion, there are 3 great comic book writers who I will read anything they do. Oh, yeah. Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, and Warren Ellis. Anything those guys write will be good, and you should buy it. Mm-hmm. And Grant Morrison especially, he loves superheroes. He wrote a book about, I haven't read it, I should read it. He wrote a book about Batman, about the character, about the legend, and the mythology behind it. And I love those guys. I was very happy to be a part of that audiobook. Sadly, I did not. Well, I played Parasite, among others, which probably destroyed my throat for a good day or two. There's a lot of noises I don't want to repeat.
That's okay. You'll have to read the book to.
I have to listen to the audiobook. It'd be nice if they send me a copy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right? You'd think I'll write to somebody and they'll send me an MP3. But yeah, because I don't imagine this was produced on CD. They don't put anything on CD anymore.
Nah, unless it's like a collector's item or something.
Yeah. But they'll. I should get them to send me a copy because that's something I would really like to listen to. And I've got the book, so I could read along. I'm very curious to see, because there's so much in the pictures. I'm very curious to see if they have narration describing what's going on. I guess they must. But then they'd have to write that, and I don't know. We'll check it out. We'll see what they did. They did. But so jealous of Mark getting to play Superman.
Big man, he
so
is.
Jealous.
Well, if anyone deserves to be Superman, I'd say it would be him. Anybody else, I'd be like, I don't know. Unless it was you, of course. You and Mark, I was like, these guys can be Superman.
Dan Green. Dan Green.
Okay, yeah, Dan Green. You take your pick. The big 3. I'd be okay with any of you guys voicing Superman. But yeah, one of the few Superman animated series episodes I saw was where Parasite teams up with Livewire and Superman takes him out with a sprinkler system. But did you have any attachment to Parasite as a character prior to voicing him?
Not particularly. I've always been a Superman fan since I was when I was 12. The Christopher Reeve movie came out.
Yeah.
And before that, I had been, there was when I was 11 years old, I made a switch. I was always Marvel fan, huge Marvel fan, had my prized possession when I was 11 years old, which I had bought when I was 10 for $5 was, no, I think it was $6, like the most amount of money I'd ever spent on anything in my life. It was Fantastic Four annual number 4, I believe, which was the wedding of Reed and Sue. And every superhero in the world is in this comic. And it was like, it was just, the greatest, the best. It was my prized possession. And sometime when I turned 11, I was like, not into Marvel anymore. I'm a DC guy. And that's kind of stuck. I mean, I love Marvel, but if I had to pick DC all the way. I'm like James Gunn. Mm-hmm. Love me some DC. But yeah, it's just, I've always loved Superman. Always loved Superman. And I remember when I was 13, I had a Superman themed birthday party. And I remember I remember reading a comic with Parasite and being like, he's one of the most dangerous. He's one of the most dangerous villains that, like him, Metallo, had Kryptonite Heart.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was messed up. Oh my gosh. And I loved all of the things they did. This is the best. In the 70s, I think around the time I was 12 or 13, they decided, they had, at one point, they decided, this was maybe a little before I got into Superman, they decided that kryptonite was no more. That the radiation from Krypton's explosion had finally reached Earth and rendered all kryptonite inert.
Mm-hmm.
So and I remember this scene where this Superman catches this 2-bit robber robbing a store, and the guy goes, "Oh, Superman, yeah, you can't mess with me. I got kryptonite." He holds out like a baseball-sized green rock, and Superman goes, "Oh, really, kryptonite? Oh, let me try that. Tastes good. Could use a little salt." Stupid things like that. And then in the 70s, they had to try to explain the fact that nobody could recognize, like he puts on glasses and nobody knows it's him. It's amazing. How does that happen? Stupidest disguise ever. Oh no, he just, he wets his hair and he puts on glasses and no one can tell it's him. That's ridiculous. So in the 70s, they came up with this, they retconned it. They said that the glasses he wears, the lenses in the glass are from the window of the Kryptonian spaceship when it crash landed on Earth, it broke into round pieces.
Get out of here.
That's my favorite. It broke into round pieces, and Ma Kent, who had also made the suit out of the indestructible blanket, somehow she was able to sew it. I don't know. She made the suit and she made the glasses, and the glasses not only, and this is a bit of retconning that they needed. The glasses not only don't melt when he uses heat vision through them, because he would do that all the time and the glasses wouldn't melt. You'd be like, what the hell? But not only would they not melt, but they also, and I love this, the glasses, the Kryptonian glass would amplify his subconscious hypnotic power that made everybody think he was a little balding and stooped over. So this is, and they showed what people saw when they saw Clark Kent. It was this kind of like schlubby guy whose hair was receding, and he was kind of like, "Hi, how you doing?" So that's the kind of stuff. Grant Morrison loves that stuff, and I love that stuff. The stupid, goofy comic book stuff. That is my jam.
I respect that he went there.
Right?
I mean, I'm like, oh
That's the
my
best.
God, really? But someone had to be brave enough to try and do that, and I respect it on that merit. So I was also curious, back to Parasite, how long did it take to record your lines for that book, if you can recall?
Oh, gosh. I think it was an hour session.
Just the entirety of it?
Maybe an hour and a half. Yeah. It was a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
A lot of, there's a scene where he's in prison with Luthor. That was the other thing that made me say Luthor. I'm like, it's Luthor.
Yeah,
Luthor,
I
Lex
flip-flop
Luthor.
between the two, and I was like, which one is the right one? Am I saying this
They made
right?
me say Luthor. I'm just like, Luthor.
Luthor.
It's got an O.
I hear Luthor.
Luthor. Lex Luthor. Not Lex Luthor. But then, so there's a lot of him, a lot of Parasite screaming at Luthor as he's being dragged away. And again, I don't totally, but he was like, Luthor. That kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of that. And I'm very grateful to the producer at Penguin Random House who was kind enough to include me. He's a big comic book fan and knew I was, so that's why I got in on that, which was nice.
That's pretty good, though, yeah. When I get more Superman pilled, I'll definitely give that a listen.
Oh yeah, I got it. In fact, when I get off with you, I'm gonna go right to somebody and say,
"Hello, could I get a copy of this, please?"
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
Yeah. It's like I did this thing. It would be nice. So for other audiobooks, I know you've done over 400 of them, but what's an audiobook you would recommend to someone who's never listened to your stuff before as sort of a primer? And the part 2 to that, which audiobook are you the most proud of?
wow. Okay. If you want to get into an audiobook, my narration, it depends really on what kind of stuff you're into. If you like monsters and violence, I'd say Monster Hunter International, very popular series. And that's probably one of the books for which I'm most well known. My favorite series, and unfortunately the author passed away more than a year and a half ago. My favorite series is by a man named Tim Dorsey. I did 18 books. The first 6, I think, were done by somebody else. And it's about a couple of guys, Serge and Coleman, who drive around Florida in a muscle car. And Serge knows everything about Florida. He is the biggest fan of Florida in the world. Nobody knows more about Florida than Serge and Coleman. Well, Serge storms. Coleman is his pal that drives around with him in the passenger seat, getting drunk, and he's completely out of his mind. And
Serge drinks coffee all day long and he talks like this. So Serge is completely out of his mind and talks basically like Daffy Duck.
And Coleman kind of talks like this, so it's a real, dichotomy between the two characters. Anyway, it's very, very, very dark humor, but very funny. Very dark, but very, very funny. They live in Florida, and they travel all around Florida, and as you do in Florida, they run into some really horrible people, and then they murder them in motel rooms in really creative ways. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would recommend that. Those are some of the books that I'm proudest of. Some of the work that I've enjoyed, certainly the most fun I've ever had in my booth doing audiobooks. But the one audiobook of which I am most proud is no longer available. In 2016, I was hired, rather remarkably, I have to say, by Audible to record a book called A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. It's a 750-page book. It is a very traumatic story. And I engineered, directed, and recorded the book by myself. Wow. It was a very, very, very popular book. It was a very, very, very popular book, shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, if that means anything. And the book was lauded by many, many, many people. I can't remember the guy's name, some wonderful British actor. He was in the Narnia movies. I think he played Prince Caspian. I can't remember. But he wrote to me, he left a message for me on Instagram saying, your performance was absolutely phenomenal. Wow. And I was blown away. I was like, wow, thank you. I've seen you in many things. It means so much. Thank you. And sadly, the book was, the other thing was this was my sort of the big accolade. At one point in 2023, 2 years ago, Audible selected, they had a curated list of the 100 greatest audiobooks ever. And A Little Life was in there. So I was very, very, it was considered also one of the top 50 fiction audiobooks of all time. Wow. I was incredibly proud. It means, as an audiobook narrator, it means so much. As somebody who doesn't receive applause or have an audience, it means so much. That was just the most incredible thing. And then earlier this year, I found out that the book had been re-recorded by an actor named Matt Bomer for the 10th anniversary of the book. And my recording is no longer available. I have it. Mm-hmm. if anybody wants it. But
I'm sure a lot of other people do too.
But
probably crop up somewhere online.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's one of those things. I just it was a real. It was incredibly uplifting. It really made me go, wow, okay. I mean, I've won. Again, I hate tooting my own horn like this, but I've won dozens of awards for my audiobooks. But that really meant something to be considered one of the 100 greatest audiobooks of all time. I was just blown away. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to get somebody else to do it. Wop, wop, wop.
I still say, like, man, that's still really cool to hear. And that feeling, I don't feel like anyone can really take that away. Even they might replace you here and there, but you were there when they said, like, this is why, like, this is one of the top 100 books we have of all time. And that's just, even just you saying that makes me feel like, wow, that's so amazing. That's like, this guy should be proud of everything that he's done, because that doesn't come lightly. Like that. Yeah.
I just want to make, this is still, there's still a clip on my Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reel that you can hear a clip, a few of my audiobooks, but there's a clip of A Little Life on there. So if you'd like to hear that,
yeah,
check it
definitely.
out on
I'll
Mr.
definitely
Coffee.
give it a look. Yeah, Mr. Coffee. Now, this is another thing that I saw on IMDb. This might not be true or not, but did you do script adaptation for... Have you ever done script adaptation?
I have done script adaptation for Bayern Munich.
That's the one, the soccer
That's
thing?
Right. That's right. And I also played, what was his name? Karl-Heinz Rummenigge? Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, who was his name. Forgive me, that's actually his name.
No, yeah, no, I believe it.
And he was like a really, like in the 70s, he was like the, I don't know who's a famous soccer player. He was like the Babe
guy?
Ruth. Yeah, he was like, hey, it was like the Beckham. He was, maybe not Beckham, but he was he was just amazing. They had a song about him. They had a song about Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. And I played him. He was one of the management of the team were all former players. So I got to play him I dubbed him. And my friends who had translated the story, the series, they're Germans who speak English, lovely, lovely people, but their English is not quite perfect. So I had to adapt it to make it sound more natural. And that was hard.
Yeah.
That was a hard job. And we were working for Amazon, so they had to approve everything we did. That took a lot of time, as I recall.
Bicycle kick. Oh, that should have been a goal.
89 minutes into the game, the great Pelé is sitting in the row in front of me, and he turns back to me and asks, "How much longer?" I said, 1 minute. Then he said, "It's done."
Looks like they're ready to celebrate.
I look back over the years with pride, and I'm curious to see what the future will bring, because I've been very fortunate. My health is good, I have a wonderful family, and very good friends. I'm curious to see what the next phase of my life will be.
I would certainly do it again, but it was a slog. It was a difficult process, and it was I was new to it. I've been a writer for a long time. I used to write. We had a show called Manifestations years and years ago. After I did Sordid Lives, which I was talking about earlier, I wrote and directed a show called Manifestations at the Collective Unconscious, which sounds like a Jung seminar, but wasn't. It was a freak show. But yeah, forgive me if I go off on tangents and they go, "What was I talking about?" Oh yeah.
No, that's why we're here. That's part of you, and we all know that going in. Well, for people who don't know, Ollie likes to go on tangents, but that's why we love him here. So it's all good, and we got timestamps if anyone wants to hear stuff. This is just fun. What I like to do with my interviews is just I get a person and I just turn them loose. Like, I got questions, but if it just goes on a tangent about anything, that's cool, because I want people to know the person that I'm talking to as a person as well.
That's a good.
I like to think I do
call.
a good job.
That's a good style. Well done. As I said, you're a mensch.
You're a mensch too. Now let's see. Speaking of, so yeah, that was really cool to hear. Just like you got to do that, tick that off for doing script adaptation. But is there anything else in your career that you still want to take a crack at? Maybe like a certain role that you're just aching to try?
That's a good question. I mean, I've had an idea for a story that I have been shaping in my head and occasionally getting out on paper in fits and spurts. And I think I'm going to start working on that today. It's an idea that involves not the character. Well, it's an idea that Batman is part of it. And I'm like, I don't know if can I write this and talk about Batman? Maybe, why not? I don't see why not. People do lit RPG kind of stuff. It's not like a Batman story so much as it refers to Batman.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I'm thinking is I might just do the story and make up my own hero. I used to play 20 years ago, dating myself, 20 years ago, I used to play an MMORPG called City of Heroes, which was awesome. And Amazingman was, of course, my character in City of Heroes. Mm-hmm. But I made my own version of the Justice League. And Amazingman was the Superman character, and I made a Batman character called the Stark Fist. He didn't wear gloves. He didn't wear gloves. That's why he was the Stark Fist of Justice. And that I was like, I think maybe I'll use those character names instead of Superman and Batman. It'll be Amazingman and the Stark Fist.
Sure. I mean, that's how a lot of great things get started, where it's like, oh, it's just a knockoff of this thing, or like Kite Man, for instance, like, Kite Man. Where
I have to watch that show. I forgot about that.
It's so good. It's really good.
See
really
that.
good.
Oh,
really good stuff.
That's a James Gunn thing too, right?
No. That's you're thinking maybe Creature Commandos, but
I know Creature Commandos. Oh, I thought James Gunn did okay, maybe not Kite Man.
No.
Okay.
But yeah,
I gotta
Kite
check
Man,
out Kite Man.
Like his name is Chuck Brown, and I was like, where did that come from? Oh, it came from Charlie Brown. And
Charlie
the
Brown.
Fact that the kites is because of the kite-eating tree, and he says rats, and I was like, really? That's where he came from?
Oh my God, that's hysterical! I did not know that. That is great.
He is just a tribute to Charlie Brown.
Thank you for telling me that.
I figured
that is a riot.
I looked that up like last year, and I was like, no, it's that easy to do. Like, that's it. Wow. That's it. So sure, Amazingman and the Stark Fist, they totally have merit. And it's like, yeah, it was just sort of a Superman knockoff. We have a bajillion Superman knockoffs or things, caricatures where it's like, where they say it's like, any resemblance to any people living or dead is purely coincidental. And I'm like,
coincidental.
That's a Christopher Walken caricature if I've ever seen one. Or that's John Travolta. Don't you lie to me. Purely coincidental. No, he's not. The man.
No coincidence at all.
There was a John Travolta character in like a cartoon I saw, and he basically he talked like John Travolta. It's like, oh man, that was so good, man. I swear, I can't believe we got to do something like that. And he was like this Travolta sounding alien, and if you look at the credits, his name is Travoltron. And I was like, I was like, that's not coincidental at all. I see what you're doing there, man.
That is a scream. That's a riot. I love it.
So yeah, Amazingman, Stark Fist. I would love to see something like that. If anybody could do it, well, I mean, you're the only one who could do that.
I'll have to check that out. I'll have to work on that.
Yeah, because I mean, I got stories of my own too, and they're just send-ups of things that I like, where it's like, oh, you take a little bit of this character, you take a little bit of that character from this obscure comic, and mix in maybe a family member here, and you got a brand new character. And as long as they don't, it's not like 100% dead ringer, that's Superman, but with the S, the upside down or something, then it's totally okay.
Well, it's like Amazingman. Amazingman has a blue suit and a red suit and a blue cape instead of a blue suit and a red cape.
I've seen more shameless knockoffs of Superman than that, but yours comes from a good place. Like, I think Did we go over the story here today, or do you want to do like a quick abridged version of it if you want to tell the people about Amazing Man?
How I became Amazing Man? Well, Amazing Man started. Amazing Man was not Amazing Man originally. I was in a weekly. This was before Manifestations. I was in a weekly show, Sorted Lives, and my friend Harold was the writer-director of the show, and I kept saying, I want to be a superhero. Please write a superhero character for me. I really, really want to be a superhero. So one week he came with the script and he said, you got your wish. You're gay man. Okay. As it not, I was, I am a hetero cis male, I guess. That's what we call it now. And I was like, okay, I'll be gay man. I was in a cast of mostly gay men. There was one other guy in the show who was not gay, my friend Todd, and he played my sidekick, Ribbon. So gay man and Ribbon. And we had, I just remember I was kind of worried about this. Like, I don't know if this is really going to go over. I had a mask. I had a big G on my chest. I think I had a black and white cape. It was I had a black and white motif. I don't know why. I could find bridal gloves. I needed gloves that went up to my wrists, and I found bridal gloves. So I had white gloves and black suit with a big colorful G on my chest and a black and white mask. And there was one of the characters, one of the actors was playing a character that was being, harassed by some idiot.
Yeah, some jerk.
As happened a lot more often back then. And this poor guy is being harassed by this jerk. And I jump out and I go, unhand that man. And they go, who are you? And I go, me? I'm gay man. The place went nuts. It was a nightclub in the East Village, mostly gay clientele, I think. It was a club that was like on Tuesday nights it was gay, on Wednesday nights it was whatever it wanted to be. Yeah. So there's a lot of gay men in the club, and they loved it. They thought it was great. They would wait. Some would wait for me outside after the show, and I'd go, "Sorry, boys, gay man's going back in the closet until next Tuesday, but I'll see you then." And it was great fun. I had a lot of fun. And one year it was Halloween, and I had no costume, and I was like, "Oh, what do I do?" The Collective Unconscious, the group that I was part of, we're a very creative group. And a friend of mine had an inner tube. And I had an idea. I said, I'm going to cut out a piece of that inner tube and cut a hole in it and put it around my head as sort of like a chest piece. Yeah. And then I got a big A, and I attached the big yellow A to the black chest piece. And really it's made my shoulders stand out. So nice. like I was a little more muscular. And I was like, hey, this works. And Amazing Man eventually transformed into the suit that I have now, parts of which were made by a professional costume maker. And the best part is the skates. When I used to do it in the city, I used to do the Halloween parade in the Village Halloween parade in New York City every year. And I had discovered at one point they had these brakes, on skates, they have brakes on the back. You sort of lean, you lean back on the brakes and it stops.
Yeah.
They made brakes that had a magnesium core. It was rubber with magnesium in the center. So when you hit the brakes on the street, sparks would fly out the back of your skates. Yeah. So I would skate down the street with my cape billowing in the wind, and then I'd pick up one. I would literally stop on one heel. I would pick up one foot and go, like in the cartoon, somebody screeching on one heel, sparks flying out the back. People just like, whoa! I can't tell you. I miss that so much. All right, I'm doing it this year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got you.
I'm going to see if magnesium brakes are available. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for magnesium brakes. If I can find that, holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Just light it up. Literally light it up.
Wow. No longer a thing.
What? What was it? A safety hazard or something?
I don't. It just says. It says that magnesium is good for recovering from I I looked up roller skate magnesium break, and they're like, if you break your bones, roller skating magnesium is really good. It's not what I'm looking for. I'll look it up on Amazon later.
So let's see. So now we're getting to the final questions of this little interview here. So what is your favorite food? And since you're a native New Yorker, what is your favorite pizza?
Whoa. Okay. Favorite food. I mean, a Reuben sandwich. I think that's up there. A good Reuben sandwich.
A Reuben
Since
sandwich.
I'm from New York City. A Reuben sandwich. Oh, a Reuben sandwich is the best. Reuben sandwich is pastrami or corned beef. I like corned beef generally.
Ooh.
Corned beef with sauerkraut and Russian dressing on rye bread. Oh, so I'm sorry. And yeah, sauerkraut, melted Swiss. On rye bread.
Okay. Now you got me.
Oh man. Oh, that is the best sandwich. There's a place in New York City. That's a Smilers? Oh, come on. The hell is the name of the place? It's like my brain don't work no more. A big sandwich place in New York City. They have 50 kinds of sandwiches, and then they have like the Smiler, which is their signature sandwich, and it's a Reuben. Wish I could remember stuff. But what is? Oh, and pizza. You know what? The best. I live up on the sticks in the mountains of New York. Best pizza's up here. They're honestly, I have never had. There are 3 places around here that have better pizza than I've ever had in New York City.
Really?
New York City is the home. The first pizzeria, I learned this recently, the first ever pizzeria was in New York City. But Ray's, all right.
There's no original
I went
Ray's.
Well, there was 11th
but
and
it's
6th.
gone.
I knew, I've been there, but it wasn't that great. It was greasy New York pizza. I'm sorry. It was not that good.
We got like actual, we got actual evidence that the original Ray's wasn't that great, but
yeah, no,
we got someone who was there, who was actually there.
I went,
a historian.
There is a chain of pizzerias. They all have different names though in New York City right now. Vezzo, Posto, I can't remember the other ones. They do a very thin crust pizza, which is phenomenal. And this is something that I cannot recommend. I started making this myself. Pesto pizza.
Pesto pizza.
Yeah. Pesto pizza. Instead of tomato sauce, it's just same thing as pizza, except pesto instead of tomato sauce. Oh my gosh. That's a good one. Boss.
I'm a pizza fanatic, so maybe one of
Really?
these days I'll try it out.
Oh, Malik, you got to come. You got to come. Yeah, no, I'm telling you. You got to. In fact, man, I can't imagine. Yeah, maybe they're around. Let's see. NYC Thin Crusts Com. And they got Vezzo. Where's your locations? Come on. Yeah, whatever. But I'm looking at oh my gosh. The pizzas, the thin crust pizza, that's my thing. Like when I was a kid, I liked the Sicilian. The big square, like this thick, big square pizza. That's Sicilian pizza. And I got cousins in Chicago. I have a lot of cousins in Chicago. They're all about the deep dish.
Yeah.
That's no.
I've never had deep dish myself. But
No. It's wrong. It's wrong.
I'll take your word for
Hawaiian pizza is righter than that.
it. Wow.
I still have never tried the Hawaiian, gotta say. I have to put that on the bucket list, but
I've tried it. It's all right. It's apparently a Canadian creation, like pineapple pizza.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. But if
Yeah,
you
but
ever,
you guys have Canadian ham? I mean, Canadian bacon?
Yeah.
That's ham.
Bacon. Yeah, it's just ham.
It's just
good
ham. I don't know what. It's not bacon.
When I grew up, I didn't have like back bacon growing up, but like as I got older, I was like, what is this faded Canadian bacon that all the Americans are talking about? It's like, this is just ham. but it's good ham. It's really good ham.
I'll give you that.
But if you're ever out in like Niagara Falls, there's this really good place called Zappy's, ZAPPI''S, and it's the only one of its kind, family-owned restaurant, been around forever, but
really,
it's got some of the best pizza that I have ever had, and I have had all kinds of pizza, and I know it's not really pizza, but they got cheesecake too, and it is to die for, but it's so good. So it's a little pricey, but it's still really good.
Okay.
It's really good.
All right.
So we got to get you up here for a con, maybe like Niagara Falls Comic Con or something. It's right down the road.
That's a thing. Is that right? Oh, okay.
It's some good stuff.
I get better about this stuff. Yeah.
And now, do you have any questions for me, or was there a question that I didn't ask that you wanted me to ask? No pressure.
No brain. I have a question for you. What's your favorite cartoon?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, I have favorites that I always go back to, but...
Top 3?
Okay, maybe... Let's see if I can do a top 3.
You go top 5.
I'm going to give you, like, 5 that I just really, really like. How about that?
Okay.
So, like,
okay.
I'm going to say... 5, I'll say Pepper Ann is a good one. I love that show. That is one that have you ever heard of it?
Pepper Ann?
Yeah, it's a really good show from like 1997, Disney cartoon, and it's just about like some 12-year-old redheaded girl, and she's just going about, it's a very slice of life, and talks about a really, really cool stuff that people talk about a lot today in terms of just like pressing issues like what was it? You know, like gender identity and what it really means to be a man or a woman or divorced dad or divorced mom, and just really cool like life issues and just topics that people are going on about today and things like that. But Pepper Ann was like, I won't say it's one of the first, but it really tackled it in a way that you didn't see a lot of back then. And it's not preachy at all. It's a really funny show where it's like, it gets to have its cake and eat it too. It gets to tackle a lot of social issues, but it's also just a really well written, really funny show with a lot of strong characters and dynamics. And I saw it in 2021, and
definitely gonna check this out. Thank you.
It's on Disney Plus, the entire series, but
really? Okay,
really good show. Another one. Let's see. I'm gonna say Dragon Ball, just Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, because it's just, even without, you know, the great Sean Schemmel or anything, because before I watched the Funimation dub, I grew up with the Canadian stuff as well, which was dubbed by a different set of people, like people in the Ocean Group in Vancouver and a group called Blue Water in Calgary. But, you know, I still think like the Funimation dub is my personal favorite, but just all of Dragon Ball is just like, it's sort of like my Superman before I got into Superman, in a sense, where it's like, you know, it's got like the really hype moments. It's got retcons and things like that where you're like, how did they do that? Why did they do that to this character? But at the end of the day, it still makes you feel really good inside and gives you a positive outlook on stuff. And it's just a really great show with a lot of good humor and action and things like that. I'm going to say for the next show, Avatar The Last Airbender, because, of course, it's Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
That's great, of course.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Well, what else needs to be said about that? And let's see. I'm going to say SpongeBob for number 4, because that has always been just a staple for me ever since. Like, I wanted to be SpongeBob when I was a kid, and now that I look back, where it's like, I have a lot of positive outlook on stuff, and I feel in a way where it's like, I wanted to grow up to be SpongeBob, and I sort of am in that way, where it's like, you know, I just want to spread good vibes and be positive, because you'll get a lot of negativity out there. I don't want to be that guy when it comes to like social media and other things like that. I just want to put out good stuff into the world. So I have a lot I have SpongeBob to thank for that, and it's just a really funny show. I just quote. It's just so many quotes are just in my lexicon, and that's never going to change. And
some of the best voice acting in the world.
Some of the best voice acting in the.
I mean, Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown, Tom
Right.
Kenny, Roger Bumpus, and when me and my brother would recite whole episodes as children, we would be like, no, that's not how he said it. SpongeBob said it like this. You gotta. So we were doing like our own voice direction at the time.
And who plays Patrick? What's his name?
Bill Fagerbakke.
That guy. Oh boy. He was so good at being stupid on Coach.
Yeah. That was like
He was so good at being something. Like, he's one of those guys that like, wow, you are so good at being stupid.
He makes it look easy. I remember I told my mom that. Oh yeah, one more. Oh. Well, the last show is, I'm just gonna say it. It's probably Pokemon because it's not just because of what you guys did on the show. I'm not just saying that because I'm speaking with someone who's been on Pokemon on and off for so long, but it's just one of those shows. Like when I was a kid, I grew up watching it as a child, and I went through the phase where it's like, oh, I think I've grown out of it. I'm like 8 years old now. I think I'm a bit too old for Pokemon, but I secretly kept watching it, and yeah, it just got better and better. And as I got older, and I appreciated the older stuff more as well, where it's like, I didn't catch this as a kid, and I read up on like the writers and what they were going for, and it's a show that even though it has a formula and it's been airing week after week after week, and you kind of know where things are going half the time, it's still a show that manages to surprise me and do cool things and still gets me hyped about stuff that a lot of quote-unquote adult anime really never got out of me. Like, you'll see so many people say, oh, you want an adult anime, you watch this and to get real emotions. But Pokemon made me cry for the first time as an adult when I was like 20 something, during the Sun and Moon series. And I was like, wow, I'm not going to say I can't believe they didn't do something like that, but I was like, I'm just surprised that they're still able to get raw emotion out of me. And I love Pokemon so much. It's got some of my favorite characters in fiction that I just love. And like, as long as he keeps going and as long as it keeps going and it's still good, I'm going to keep watching it. And I'm so happy I can say that about something that has been on the air for as long as it has. And it's like, I can't wait to see the next Pokemon. Or One Piece too. One Piece has that too. But Pokemon, I've been with Pokemon since like before I could read. And it's like, I'm so happy as like a 30 something, it's still getting raw emotions out of me, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
It's an institution. It really is.
Yeah.
When I first got into Pokemon, I used to try to explain it to people. This is back when it was just red, blue, and green.
Yeah.
It was it red, blue, and green? No, it was just red and blue and yellow.
Red, blue, and yellow. Yeah.
There was
green
no
came out in Japan.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Nerdy.
But so I was, early on playing the game, and people were like, "What is this Pokemon? I hear kids playing this Pokemon thing." And I'm like, first of all, it's Pokemon, and second of all, it's like a subculture for kids. It's like a subculture for kids, and it's role playing 101. Here's how to make a party and go take them out, and you got these guys who can heal these people. That's role playing. Yeah, it's a role playing game. So I love that stuff.
We are at the end, and if you guys want to see more of Ollie's stuff, you know where to find him. I'll put links in the description. You've got a Twitch channel, which, take your time. You can do it whenever you want. But
I'll be back.
Yeah, I just wanted to say just thanks again for all this and just getting to talk with me, because, I've wanted to do interviews with other people, and I have waited so long for a few of them, and some of them didn't work out, but I didn't want this to slip me by. You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to get the chance to speak with you again, and I'm so glad we were able to do it. It just makes me so happy. And, if you ever want to be interviewed again for something, or it's like, I gotta call up Malik and tell him I did this really cool thing, we'll do this again.
Are you kidding? You kidding? That will be a thing, for sure. That will be a thing. Can I show the thing? Here's my thing. There's my thing. Did you see my thing?
I did not see your thing, but I'm going to pretend I did.
Because you know why? I don't have OBS open. That's why.
That's okay. But I'll say goodbye to the audience.
Come to my Twitch channel. I'll show you my thing.
Go to his Twitch channel at Mr. Coffee. But for everyone listening at home, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be.